So let me give you a little insight to the community that I live in. I got this newspaper yesterday, community newspaper. It's a small publication, but it's community-wide. They're right in the middle of the paper. There's a church directory, and I've counted 71 churches. 71. Anyways, over the church directory on the same page, some fella, he's a pastor of an upstart church in the area, wrote this little article. I'm going to read part of it to you. I was a youth pastor for 11 years, and so I interacted with a lot of teenagers. Some looked like they had it all together, and some were a mess, but my favorite teens were the ones that were unlikely to make a difference, but God continued to speak to them and use them for great things. There was a teen named John. He came from a home where his mother was a witch and his father an atheist. He got saved in youth group because a couple other teens invited him. He was an unlikely hero. The wrong background. No biblical foundation. Living in a motel room with his family who had no car because his parents had no licenses. But what I saw in him was inspiring. A kid who seemed like he was destined to barely survive, yet thriving in his relationship with Jesus, and now working at a church with teenagers and sharing his story to draw others to Christ. Alright. His mother was a witch. A witch. Okay, first of all, if his mother claims to be a witch, she's crazy. Alright, so what we can say is that his mom is mentally ill and needs help. Real witches, I mean like Salem witch trials, like burning witches at the stake, but they really were just mentally ill people, and the folks were ignorant and superstitious, and alright, this dude makes it sound like, this chick's really a witch. And unfortunately, I think there's probably lots of superstitious people in my community who think there are witches and witchcraft. And right there in the same sentence, his mother's a witch, his father's an atheist. Okay. Alright, so now, witches and atheists are, oh my gosh. I tracked this pastor down, sent him an email, and told him I didn't appreciate his article. Told him I'm an atheist. I'm a good guy. And don't appreciate him helping continue on this misnomer in the Christian community that atheists like rob banks and eat babies, and I just told him I didn't appreciate it. And he sent me an email back and apologized. And he says, look, that wasn't my intent. Sorry it came off that way. I should have written it differently. And I'm like, dude, the damage is done. You got this. Are you going to put some kind of apology in the paper? I doubt it. The guy is starting a church. He's renting space from my kids' elementary school, my public school. I know that's legal. You can do that around here. I don't like it, but it's kind of ironic the guy calls his church the Story Church. Since what he's preaching is just a bunch of stories. But yeah, I just thought I'd share that with you. This is in our local newspaper. Came out yesterday, a couple days ago. And it's just, if this kid's mom is crazy and his dad is a bad provider, that sucks. Why don't you just say, look, obviously his dad is not a good provider. They're living in a motel. They don't have a driver's license. His parents, aren't good parents, and so it's tough on him. When you got a kid in that position who doesn't have anything, and his parents don't do a good job, it makes him susceptible to suggestion, to things like religion, or it just doesn't happen with Christianity. I mean, you look at the Middle East, man. I mean, like, you look at Hamas. One reason that crazy crap is so prevalent in that area is because of just the poverty and the culture and the ignorance. And it just propagates, man. It just keeps going. And this is, this kind of stuff here ain't helping anybody. Except maybe, bring people to his church and put money in his offering plate. Ah! What do you think?